Hey guys, George here. So today what I'm going to do is bring to you an after action report. And this is going to be part one of two series. And I'm going to entitle the series Victory Denied by One Multi-Man Counter, or Victory Denied by One Squad. And I'm laughing. Unfortunately, the mishap happened to me. The victory was lost by yours truly, principally because of one squad. And that's the way the cookie crumbled. But hey, there's always a next time, and hopefully next time I'll win. But I'm here to report my victories and my losses, no matter how devastating or amusing they might be. Coffee, guys. It's almost 5 p.m. in the afternoon, but after going out to lunch with the boys, I think that coffee is well deserved, especially with all the housework that I did. I was about to say homework. That rings a bell too. So here, my Monday night opponent, Dino Limosani, the Italian Stallion, as I like to call him, we were playing J214, Raff's Orders, and we switched around quite a bit. But remarkably enough, and I shouldn't say remarkably, but skillfully enough, he won as the Americans. And the way he won was he was attempting to achieve the victory objective by occupying hex B6, is it? Yeah, 6B6. Zoom in on the map. Right. 6B6. I was playing as the Germans. So he needed to occupy this hex and have 6 or more building hexes, not building hexes, but buildings within a perimeter around Q2 in his possession, in his control. So this is the initial setup. I was playing the Germans, and you might see that the U.S. setup seems to be a bit strange, but what's going on here is that I am playing on Vassal, and Dino is playing on board, and we're using essentially this game, this interface as a dice roller, and he calls out the coordinates of his moves. Whenever I do a line of sight check and a unit is revealed, and he tells me what unit it is. I do similarly, and that's how the cookie crumbles here. So this is the initial setup. My error here is that the Americans actually came in through here. I was going to correct that error. Let's put on our thinking cap and roll it away. In terms of my setup, well, unbeknown to Dino, I have a HIP 28L gun there. I have a H&G up here, and I guess this is bait, but truth be told, I should have probably set them up a little bit further or in a hull-down position. I don't remember if by SSR I was not allowed to set up in buildings and woods for this scenario. But just the same, there's a staggered way of winning this game with the Americans. It's either you control 6 buildings within a radius of, let's see, the Americans win either at the end of the game, turn 3, by controlling 6 buildings within four hexes of 72Q2. Yeah. At the end of turn 4, by controlling hexes 6B5 and or 6Y6, and all buildings within 4 hexes of 72Q2, or at game end by having 1 multi-man counter in this building. So you'll see where I failed. But let's move along. So it appears that he's doing a two-prong attack. So he can grab this victory location and hopefully clear out the Germans from 72Q2 at 4 hex perimeter. So moving right along, this is actually where he's coming up, and this is north, so he's coming in from the east end and from the north edge. And this is a deep stream, so when he goes in it, he's automatically, it costs 4 MF, plus he's automatically CX. So I'm claiming wall advantage. This is still the rally phase, turn 1. And he calls down an AR. By SSR, he had a 70mm AR, so he puts down a Will Repeater to cover his advance. Quite smart. And you also do purchases in this scenario. I purchased some tanks. A Stug and a Panzer IV H with Schurs, and each of them had Schurs. Remarkably enough, there's recoilless rifles involved, although it's late war, World War II, 1945. And the units of play is the 5 elements of the 3rd Battalion, 507th Parachute Regiment, 17th Airborne Division. I forgot to put the icons for the division patches. Shame on me. Anywho, I didn't have time. It was one of those days, or nights. Here we go. Everybody's going CX. I do a free loss check to reveal what units are going on. Fired, and I broke a half squad. No line of sight there. I'm not revealing my best order leader with the HMG on the 2nd floor of that building. And here he is using the bridge, but he wastes no time crossing that bridge. And now I had to reveal my gun and DM the half squad, or full squad rather. Oops, no line of sight checks. Go, go, go. I'm laying down residuals, and I had to reveal my leader. That smoke may have caught me a bit off guard, but I was surprised with the amount of units that he amassed there. And now we're exchanging water fire, left, right, and center. So when units are concealed, all he tells me is, I have a concealment counter with so many counters stacked beneath it. So I got accustomed to just putting one concealment marker along. I don't want to see the height of the stack. So I'm playing with a big handicap, I suppose, but it's all good. And he blew up my half track right away. Of course. I could have put him further away, but I didn't. And it was a recoil as I caught him. It was a soft target, and a large one at that. So, and the other thing that's interesting about this armored fighting vehicle is that it has a trailer for ammo, so it cannot use reverse movement. Let's go on. So we jump into close combat there. It looks like the crew is outnumbered 10-1. The RCX doesn't make much of a difference, but it looks like he has that objective for a couple of turns because smoke will protect them from the heavy to some extent. A little caveat emptor, I may have skipped a couple of turns, not yet, but going on, going forward, I may have to skip some turns, either in the interest of saving time or because I forgot to start a log file. But so far, things look continuous, and it's now German turn 2, rally phase. Within one sitting, we usually came to came to complete at least one turn. Um, Here they did win, the Americans did win the close combat. They have the 20L. I brought up a Stug. Here I brought on a Panzer IV. I didn't have terribly good luck with the armor, the German armor. There it looks like I just did an overrun and uh, scored one brokey. The other fellow is CX. He's a half squad. I'm not too worried about that. And I believe I had a close support weapon in there as well. So it doesn't look good for the Americans. So I reinforce as well. Smoke works both ways. It is a good defensive weapon, but it impedes your ability to move. It impedes your ability to fire out of it as well. So in a certain sense of the word, I'm lucky there as well. Get attacked in force, but I had the opportunity to reinforce that position, take it back, and then my half squads that are up there make their way back, hoping to encircle these guys. If I don't encircle them, I'll end up hopefully getting them in a position where they can't rout as well. Here I am again, reinforcing um, and pulling back some units because I know where the direction of the attack is now. We could have very well opted for both boards, both sides of the board, both objectives, or one or the other, and he chose one or the other, quite wisely, I may add. So here we are with more morale checks, and now firing back. Mortars are exchanging fire, uh, attempting to attack this fellow here. Both of our attacks were ineffective, as you can see, except for one fellow that tried to cross the bridge and the other fellow that went under the bridge. And then, I'm guessing right after this turn, what I did was I started skulking. Um, Here, something nice happened. We got rid of both American units that were uh, under that uh, under that AFE. Um, get rid of them. We broke them. Nothing is completely terminal in this game. It's very rare that you get an outright kill. Um, and if you do get a kill, it's because you have masked a great amount of firepower or you took a good shot and you got a good hit. It's not an outright, almost all the time, uh, kill, multiple kills. In McGill, when I was studying history, my professor correctly told us that most of the kills, KIAs, during World War II were because of artillery fire, not because of bullets. I think squad leader models that quite well. And this is where we got drifting smoke, because we ended up having a mild breeze. Yeah. Uh, Snake Eyes followed with a 5. So it's an American turn 2 is prep firing. And at this juncture, um, he appears to be trying to skirt this position and maintain it here at the same time. I brought down a couple of units here. Um, in Greek, they appear in your rear. You guys didn't hear that, but anyhow. Moving rather along. Somebody's attempting to put a DC charge and Willie Peter in the hex. It ain't working. The leader lost morale check with a positive modifier. Here we're getting task checks all over the place. Ooh, look at that line of sight. It didn't make it. Blocked. What was I thinking, man? Where did this fellow move? I moved that fellow back. Why? Sorry. See, I need a coffee. Looks like he's doing a good job trying to cross the stream. Hmm. So here's where I believe may have skipped something because I forgot to start a log file. But he secured a foothold past the bridge. I have no idea why I moved back that unit. I guess it's because he had too many units in that hex that could fire at me. So I decided to uh, coax him on into advancing instead of taking a massive hit. Look at that firepower. You got 3, 11 is 14, and another 11 is a lot. Let's see, uh, 25, double, 50 firepower factors at point blank range. That's a 36 plus attack. You know, what are you going to do? At least here you got some protection, but it's remarkable. Now here's a thing that each of us are about to find out. This 9 minus 1 leader with the heavy has a line of sight to this hex up there. Anyway, a couple of units are marked with opportunity fire. He's very skillful at attacking objectives. He's not going all in, left, right, and center. Oh, and here's where that tank got mouthed. Really. And I'm using him for the longest amount of time as a machine gun carrier. Ah, with 8 firepower attack just with the machine guns alone, I'm happy without the main armament. We're not going for CVP, so uh, having him mouthed on the board is better than having him under recall. Yes, tanks were quite expensive. It was better to um, withdraw them and repair them rather than outright destroy them. And here's the skillful attack I'm talking to you about. You know, he's using smoke successfully. He's inching up. He's trying to bait me into firing, and I have to because the way things look. There you go. So there's a defensive fire, and I forgot to move that marker. Firing and firing. I'm getting some task checks, some pin units. That guy final fire gets defensive fire, and I forgot to advance everything. Ooh, and now here's the smoke is out, and here's where things get dicey for the Americans on the right flank over there. A hero was created. That's all fine and dandy. He can recover, I believe, a DC from the broken unit as a single man counter under the recovery rules. I think I know that number off by heart by now. Alpha 4.44. Could be wrong, but I tend to remember rules that affect me greatly um, throughout several games. So recovery is something that I had to pick up, and because it happens often that the unit that's carrying a weapon has to route and leaves it behind, and the leader, what is he going to do? I don't know. uh, pick up the weapon and hope that another MC can dash into his hex. They exchange weapons during the rally phase, and then the position is restored back to normal. That's why I kind of value that rule and remember it happens a lot, and it's indispensable. Gotta add that one to another video. So a little bit of fire back and forth here. Now that he established a little bridgehead there, you know, the bridgehead kind of advanced slowly. And it advanced slowly because, um, you know, much to my surprise, this fellow had line of sight to a key hex there, and he's doing pretty well. And having the tank there as well with the machine gun help helps a lot. I got two half squads just in the middle of the road. Yeah, they got a +1 um, modifier, protective cover, but this fellow can still attack at 2 at a 6x range, long range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to there. So he has to come around this way, putting him in line of sight with that fellow there. Somebody rolled boxcars, wanted to hit. Now we got a prisoner. And we got prisoners galore on the right flank. So here's a prisoner. Remarkable what two half squads can do. Two and a half squads. That sounds familiar. That's a YouTube channel, a podcast. Two half squads. Look at them. They're over there wrecking havoc for the Americans. Yeah, instant coffee, and I love it. How about that? The motor gave out, broke. Not much you can do about that either. So, but he managed to route. Wish I didn't route him there. And they're consolidating power. They kind of, ran out from this area here because my tank is covering that area. Stacked in there. That stack is partially pinned, and this fellow here with an 8 morale, he will bounce back, and I have another leader with an MG there. So at this juncture, it's the American turn 3. It's anybody's game. We have a close combat there. One thing wrong with that though. Jameson cannot throw the DC in his own hex. At least that's what we thought. I'm thinking now that if he threw it on the tank, it's technically in his hex, but he wouldn't be affected by it, but because he's targeting a tank, he's not targeting a location. Something that we need to look up. Alright, so German turn 3. Weather and whatnot, rallies, and prep fire. What the heck did we prep fire? This guy had moved in there. We prep fired and just pinned him. It's not good. This fellow is in melee. I think he fired in his own hex. Has no choice. We got some snipers. Yeah, this guy served his purpose as sniper bait. So it's all good. Accidentally, I've discovered how to use sniper bait. more recently, we were questioning whether if a released escaped prisoner, um, an escapee is a legitimate target for a sniper or not. Again, something to think about. I'm not a rule book expert. I like explaining the rules to the best of my ability, but when it comes to interpreting them, the interpretation part is something that um, what I think is people that collected all the journals from start to finish and read all the Q&A. They're the folks that can interpret the rules well. Oh, here we are having doubts as to whether, oops, guess what happened there? There goes the MG. Uh, Rolled a 12, but we did manage to break that stack there, and also uh, pin the leader. And let's face it, the most that these 747s can fire away are 8 hexes at long range, and the American MGs are only 10 hexes. Um, so as they're attacking, if they're attacking close quarters and the terrain is kind of compact, they do have an advantage. But if there's open terrain and they're attacking a heavy or German medium, they can be cut down to size pretty quickly and easily. I do have the American dice thanks to my buddy out in New Brunswick. Uh, yeah, Dennis. Dennis? Yeah, Dennis. Freebird. Dennis Freebird. Jeez. Trying to confuse the fellow with a fellow from New Hampshire. There goes another 12 morale check. Somebody blew up. Corporal Curious. MC2 boxcars. Casualty. Morale check. Another sniper check. 4. IFT. Somebody just got heat of battle. No, it wasn't heat of battle. It was two, two on the IFT. I rolled a morale check somehow. Somebody cowered. This fellow got broken. We won't be able to go anywhere. Another prisoner captured. Now we just managed to recapture that 20L. But what am I going to do with it now? It's completely useless there. Didn't even attempt to move it back to a closer location. Could have changed the game. And this fellow here, all he has to do is advance. But um, I did prevent him from capturing um, 6 building locations here. Um, yeah, because he needed to go all the way down here. He made it 1/3 of the way. So now he has to win by putting a 1MC here. Well, he has another turn, but it's very unlikely that he will attain that by turn 4. And there you go. People are running away, routing. Still in melee there. And it's now American turn 4. Yeah, oh yeah, they're routing up here. The fellow became a fanatic. And I had to run back to that place. Couldn't stick around, help the tank at all. Hmm. He did manage to mobilize my stoke over there. Not that it did a lot. It did a lot of good, but and he's managing to sneak now a half squad, a survivor of this failed attack, over to my flank. Uh, and if you have all this firepower up here attacking you, um, why would you waste your attack on this? Well, the answer to that question is because he would be part of the victory conditions. Um, Him and one other squad, uh, this fanatic up here, had managed to make it all the way to this location here, and then, despite breaking, bounces back and then runs into the building. Oh boy. Let's see. That was it should have been a spoiler alert, but hey, here we are again, exchanging fire on the north end of the village. Now he's shifting his attack, so he knows that this is useless. He trying to capture 6 buildings here is useless, so he's walking around. Big shift of the attack. Remarkable and good thinking. He's marking some people for wildfire. He's trying to bait me into uh, shooting, and I take some of the bait. Now there's advanced firing. This is the beginning of the shift, really. And this thing is still broken. That was really what really did begin, I think. The tank is still a mouth, but I think we both did some really brilliant moves, and luck was not on my side. Or should I say it was? Let's take a look at the average dice roll so far. So other, for Corporal Curious, that's me, 5. To hit 5. Task check 7. Rally 7.33. FT 7.5. 7.67 for morale checks. Close combat 8. To hit 4. Morale checks 5. Other 6. CC is 7. And IFT is 9.25. So my IFT compared to Dino's IFT is really remarkable. It always is. So moving along. Something's jumping. So he has more than a bridgehead here. Right. Well, these guys are broken. They're going to bounce back. These guys are going to bounce back. Hero was created here. Hero was created there. We got a fanatic unit. This solo is in good order, and but I do have an NG here. Uh, and this is a good stock of units. And it's turn 4 for the Germans. And they're poised to go kaboomba. Let's see if we're going to repair. Did not repair. There's a leader there. There's still a fellow that did place the, I think he ultimately did place the satchel charge um, on the AFE, but failed to do anything. And then here, I now got possession of the 20L AA gun. He moved his concealed stock away from there. Both of his motors broke. Mine, what happened was the squad got broken, and now he's trying to wedge enough troops to try and make a run for the building, for the victory location. Now I'm turning around the gun. I'm starting to fire at wherever I can fire, and I am shifting my attack with the Panzer IV. And now this is one tactic that I use, is when I get on a mouse gun and a tank, and I know the consequence of trying to repair it unsuccessfully is a recall. I try to bog the thing. Running into woods, running into a building. Um, be careful of buildings because if it dumps into a cellar, then it's useless for you. Woods are better. And then once you're on bog, you're free to go, and you can get out of there, sprint towards a over an attack, do what you have to do with it. But try to run into some sort of uh, item that can bog without falling into a cellar, and then try to repair it. Is it sleazy? You decide. Personally, I think it's a bit gamey because, well, ask yourself this: would a crew try to repair their tank in the open, or would they seek cover? Unless it's immobilized, and immobilization repairs are not done and are not available in this game. They were in COI, but very rare that they could occur. I think you need snake eyes to repair the thing. So I think ultimately Don Greenwood dropped it from the rule book. Immobilization repair. Well, turn 5, American turn 5, and you think they're shifting the attack because they're coming right up to the concealed unit, trying to uh, bump him into unconcealing. But I kept my fire and used whatever spare firepower I could use to ward off the ward off the bait attacks. Now, this was ultimately a big bait because a 747 pops up against you, moves adjacent, and you have to take every opportunity to break that fellow. Because historically speaking, every time an American 747 jumped into close combat with a German unit that only has 4 firepower, oh, they always win. They always win. And I tried to make a fire lane there, an ultimate hex range fire lane. But what could you do? You already first fired there. These guys are scot free because you can't fire them. These guys, this fellow is closer, so you're up to creep without a paddle. And he shifted his attack to the right flank, to my right. And with this, that that heavy was eliminated in the rally phase. Trying to repair it. We got one unit in melee there. With what? A 337 and a 467. Firing to the best of our ability. And we actually managed to pin this unit, which was pretty good. We got a prisoner as well. A big CC up there, tying down my 467, unfortunately. And units are advancing like crazy. Hmm. German turn 5. There's my bog, and I'm shifting the attack as well. And that second level position is no longer valuable to me. Um, that hex was pretty much empty. We ended up eliminating the what do you call that guy? That hero. I don't know what I call him. Captain Spears, I think. Dino managed to DM a couple of conscripts. I have no clue why I put Bruner in there in close combat. Something surprised me. Like, why did you do that, George? Why couldn't you bring him back to reinforce this building? Probably because this guy would have tried to whack him. And keep in mind that what one MMG was dropped for some reason or another. Yeah. Either because he wanted to shift the attack and he knew he just wanted an MMC to ram into that building. That building ground floor is fortified, so if I had put a squad in every hex on the bottom there somehow, even if I had to deploy, he wouldn't be able to just simply walk in there. At this point, I was deciding I had wanted to release my prisoners, so if for any reason I had to go into close combat, I could fight back with full firepower as opposed to fighting back with half firepower. And here I'm laying down a wall of residuals because the attack is coming. There you go. However, what I got there is an ice tank, which is basically a machine gun carrier, and his armament is back up. I repaired it during the rally phase, I suppose. And I did lay down a wall of residual, so again, there seems to be a shift of an attack. And now I'm firing my main armament. DM this stack. Broke a couple of fellows here with a fanatic. Temporarily. Temporarily. And there we have some retreats. How about the close combat? What's going to ensue about the close combat? We did manage to successfully kill the fellow with the recoils. We got our revenge. Oh, there's the wreck up there. Oh man, I was expecting to find my wreck down here. You know, like why did you do that, George? Anyway, we got a nice wall of units there, and big mistake that I had left this guy out in the open. Mm. I didn't see any other way I could do things differently. Well, at the time. So guys, here's the last hurrah. This is the final turn, close to the final turn. This is the German final turn. And then uh, we have to sit back and wait for um, the German attack. So we did the up fire here, the solo spinned. Um, we just moved up there, fired there. We should have somehow DM'd the fanatic unit, but we got some prisoners there, Americans too. He broke his main armament again, which was a bummer. This fellow is poised to attack as well. By attack, I mean moving into the building. And now I'm trying to move as many units as I can. I got rid of my prisoners. think my biggest flaw was not advancing units all along this, leaving this hex empty. You know, yeah. See, I should have put the leader and a fellow there. This guy's in close combat with a half squad, 5-3. He's pinned. I ended up winning the close combat. That was pretty good. I just did not execute the advance phase correctly. Thinking that the tank and this fellow here would be enough to stave off the attack, but come turn 7 rally, this fanatic unit comes back to life. Yeah, and let's see how many rallies we get. We have a little prep fire, smoke, we're firing, trying to lay down residuals. This guy's running. We got him. Here's where things start to get dicey. I fire there, and I think he gets away with it. And I'm pretty sure what ensued here is no matter what I did, I just rolled too high to obliterate him. So I kind of misestimated that fanatic unit with an 8 morale would ultimately, even though he had to run through open ground, would make it. And this is what I mean by victory uh, by one squad equivalent. So he needed a one squad equivalent in this building, and he more or less got it in the advanced phase. So I think that was where we called the game. That fellow was pinned. He couldn't advance anymore. Broke. Look at that roll. Box scars on the IFT. There you go. So this is the game end. He has a squad and a half in there. The leader is also worth a fraction of the cost, but we won't count him. So this is what I mean by a victory denied by one squad equivalent. And had I just said to myself, you know, George, just keep that hex covered. It's a fortified building, and the closest he can do is the closest he can. The best he can do is come point blank, and then he can't enter into close combat because it's a fortified building. Can't advance into it. This fellow broke, and I could have had the game. But it's alright. We had fun. That's an important thing, guys. Having fun, being kind, uh, good sportsmanship as well. You win some, you lose some. Not even the biggest heavyweights win them all. So, you know, I had my coffee. So, with this said, that was my after-action report for uh, Raff's Order J214. I did not play it solo. I played it with a live opponent. One fellow was using the boards. I was using Vassal. Nonetheless, we managed to make a game out of it, playing remotely. Otherwise, I would probably be looking at something like 4 hours of travel time just by traffic alone. These days, there's traffic all over the place around here, even in the suburbs. Everybody seems to be repairing one road or another. So playing remotely is fun as well. And I see the time counter is at 51 minutes. I'm pretty sure everybody loses interest after 30 minutes or 20. But you can always watch this at 2x. Should have said that in the beginning. Anywho, thanks for watching my videos, guys. Stay in good health. And I wish you all the best of luck. Okay? And once again, I thank all the viewers and all the subscribers. Please do reach out to folks and tell them about this channel. On a different note, I also discovered another fellow doing squad leader videos. I believe he's a francophone by the name of Robin Reeves. Anywho, I'll give you the link to his channel one day. And have a great one. Take care. Bye.